Good evening and welcome to a great edition of Harmonics. Today's guest is a wise lady, beautiful, a ball of energy, inspirational. I got Angel Vetrano. My dear, it is absolutely a pleasure to see you today. How are you?
I'm good.
Welcome to my show. It's been it's exciting to have you. You have like all kinds of different things that you do in your life that are very positive. So what I'd like to ask you first, you have a book out, right?
Yes.
And you also are a musician.
Yes.
So first of all, I want to talk about your book, and then I also want to talk because it's about PTSD.
Yes.
I want to talk about that, how you got involved in it. Tell me about that. But how did that all start? Or tell me what actually is PTSD.
PTSD?
Yes.
It's called post-traumatic stress disorder. And basically, it happened since I was 8 years old. I lived in an abusive family. I've been through over 38 years of traumatic experiences. And I had to run away from them, and I had to live through many more traumatic experiences. And then I was diagnosed at 26 years old, and to have to live through that is many years and many things I had to go through. But then when I was diagnosed, I still had many years of things and therapy and stuff like that. But I have helped many people when I got older. At about 38 years old, I finally got free from my own captivity. And I have been helping people ever since. I have become a life coach, and I'm psychic. I'm doing so much for many people. There's just so many things with PTSD. You have flashbacks, you have triggers that come up, you have nightmares. There's just so much. It's really hard to understand unless you have it. So what happened was it took me about 10 years. I have been writing poetry and writing so I could escape from my own nightmare of what I was living. And the only thing that kept me going was something inside me kept saying, there's more for you. There's more for you. No matter what was happening to me, when I was raped or beaten, I just kept going and just kept living. And it took me about 10 years. But then I wrote this book because I wanted to show people and help people that have PTSD and give them a way of finding their own voice. And I met this woman, Mary, and she's the one that kind of believed in me and believed in my words. Yeah. And so I wrote it. I wrote everything down. I had a lot of words that I wrote since I was 14 years old, and I put it into a book. And I was afraid that, I didn't know if people would actually understand it, but I didn't care because I really wanted to make a difference in people's lives. If I can make a difference in one person's life, then everything that's happened to me is worth it.
Absolutely. So your journey has been quite long. You said it's at 8 years old, and then you really, in many ways, you've transformed yourself into a new person.
I had to. I had to, because what I was living was a nightmare. And it kept happening to me over and over again. My mom, my dad, it was just, I was watching my life be killed in front of my eyes. So I had to run away. At 14 years old, I was like, I don't want to live this way anymore. I mean, I tried to kill myself at a child age at only 9 years old. And this is no way to live. So I put myself in these group homes. I had to. There was the only way to live was me making a stand for myself, because there was no one helping me. People wouldn't come to the house to help me. There was no one that was, back in 1970 and in the beginning of 1980s, nobody really cared to get involved. Everything that was domestic violence, everyone said, oh, please, take care of it yourself. So no one really cared.
Well, how
back
sad
then.
that must have been.
It was.
So you had an inner voice that kept on telling you to move forward. Amazing.
Yeah.
And that is, and so you've helped the numerous people, because I've read some of the things that you have said to me in your storylines and things like that. You have really created yourself, and you became an author. You mentioned, Mary, that somebody believed in you. When did you actually think, when was your breakthrough where you said, you know what, I could do this on my own. I could find somebody that loves me? Or what made you become the person who you are today? You had all this background, but what was the kind of the turning point? You had a lot to say, but what was the turning point, you feel?
I think it was, I was 38 years old, and I didn't want to get abused anymore. I didn't want to get beaten anymore. I didn't want to meet these men and just allow them to make me a victim anymore. It was time for me to stand up. My child was becoming a victim. I was becoming a victim, and I was not going to live anymore, because I was burying myself in my own grave, and everything was becoming dark. At 19 years old, I hemorrhaged to death, and I died. And Spirit brought me back. I didn't want to live, because I didn't even want my life before then. But Spirit made me come back, even though I didn't want to live. And it was a major thing that happened to me at 19, but yet it wasn't still my time to wake up. I still had to go through so much. And now I look back and I understand I had to go through it so I could be the woman I am today. And I understand it, because you have to go through these things so you can make a difference in other people's lives, so you can walk in their steps. Because how can you walk in their steps and help other people if you don't have that knowledge, that experience? And then after that, I went to college, because even though I didn't have much high school, because I was in group homes in all these different high schools, like 6 of them, I wanted to get the knowledge and the experience I already had, so I could help people and also get that knowledge in college. So I went to DVC. I took a test, and I had to learn it. I had to get the test right, because I didn't have a high school diploma. And I made myself get that test and pass it so I could go to college and get the knowledge in those theories, so I could also have that under me, so I could know that too. Because I was wondering, why is this all happening to me? And I figured out we go through patterns, and patterns keep going unless we figure out to break them. So I learned so much from that.
You shattered them, didn't you?
That's right, I did.
You actually shattered your demons and all that. You were talking about earlier that you're helping people, obviously. You just got a certificate of some sort. What did you just acquire? I'll wait till you drink your water. Yeah, that's okay. That's all right. Yeah, that's all right.
I need a little water.
That's okay. It's good to have water.
So I got my certification for Reiki 2. So I can now use energy healing to not only do that, I can help with that. And I just, in 2 weeks, I'll be done with my advanced mediumship. So now I can also do validation for people that have lost people in their lives and be able to help with their messages that are coming through.
Like channel.
Yes. Well, be a conduit.
Okay.
Yes. I'm already a psychic, and I was very blessed for that. And the reason why I have that gift is because I've died. I actually died at 19, like I told you,
Right.
hemorrhaging to death, and Spirit bringing me back. So that opened up so much. And now I'm a medium, I'm a psychic, and now I can do that. And so I wanted to also do Reiki, so now I can also help healing energy. I wanted to do everything I can so I can be this person to make a difference. That's why I'm alive. Otherwise, why am I here? But to make a difference in people's lives.
Yes, you're sort of like a healer of some sort. You're probably you have this energy power that makes you very special to others, because once they conduit into you, what you're saying, you're probably a very important factor in their lives. So are you getting ready to do this? I know you've wrote a book, and I want to bring the book out because you said you like to read a poem.
Yeah. Oh, I know it by heart.
Oh, you know it by heart.
Yeah.
That's even better.
Yeah.
So when you write, let's talk about your writing.
Okay.
You were saying that it's just open, it's honest.
Yeah.
What made you actually put it to words? You mentioned a marrier. What made you put it to words? Because you are going through all this traumatic experience. What made you put it to the pen to the paper?
Well, I needed some way to express myself. And words just come and it flows. Like I said, it flows like a river that just flows out. And for me to be able to escape whatever my reality is, the words just flow. And it's just the way that I express myself. No matter what, I just put my pen to or actually now that we have like computers and stuff, I just write, and whatever comes through, I just write about it. And it just comes. It's almost like a spirit can come through, and I just write.
Yeah.
And I just want to be able, and it resonates with people, and it just comes all the time. And I write almost every day.
When you have that kind of gift, you want to get it out.
I have to get it out because it almost feels like pressure. And if I cannot write, I can't breathe.
Right.
It's that bad.
Really?
Oh yeah.
Interesting. So
I
you're
have
very
to.
creative. You have spurts. Is it spurts of energy, or is it just come simultaneously?
What do you mean?
Well, when you want to write, does it just come right out? Like you said,
No, it comes right out. I have to write it. I can't hold it back because I can't breathe. I have to write it out. And I just write and write and write and write and write and write and write until it's done.
Wow.
Yeah. I mean, I have to edit it because I'm like, oh, I don't want people to say it. I said it wrong.
Yeah.
Now I'm like editing because people were like, what do you, like, you said it wrong, you said it wrong. I'm like, look, I'm not an English major. But, but I just write and it just comes.
You have to be careful on that. Yeah.
I just write.
So, say that poem that you wanted to say to the people, our audience.
Okay. So one of my first poems, and I believe I was really young, it's called Hidden Faces.
Okay.
And to me, this is like a big thing about what PTSD is. Okay. We are the ones whom you turn away. When we try to behold, you just push us away. Cold is in our hearts and fear is in our souls. The only door to exit is slowly beginning to close. The streets are filled with fire. The eyes grow weak with fear. Fading into the blackness, a young child's face appears. Clothes all torn, hair ripped out. War and blood is what it's now about. Running through the enemy lines as far as you can see. Dirty patterns and distant shadows of souls that fought to break free. The past still flashes, re-entering more pain. And the cries of the wounded still bleeding in vain.
Pretty amazing. That could be a song.
I haven't been able to put it with
Music?
Yeah, because I'm not a guitar player. I'm just a
You're
singer.
the singer, but that's very important, and you're already a lyricist. So
Yeah.
let's change into something.
Okay.
Angel also is probably one of the dynamic singers on our music scene, and let's go into that. Let's
Okay.
go into talking about that. You're actually in a band called
Lovesick Angel.
Okay, and you performed. I watched you on your video. You're a powerball. You
Thank
just you just
So
let it
is
all
my
go.
brother,
Is he? Is
Larry
he?
Barron.
Okay.
Oh, that man is amazing.
So,
Sorry.
so yeah, that's great. I'm
Sorry
glad
for
you
the
plug.
plug.
No, it's good that you did that with Larry.
Yeah.
So how do you go about your business in the music situation? I know you're looking for guitar players or
And bassist.
and a bassist. So
'Cause
it's hard,
yeah.
as you know, because
Yeah.
you have to get the right feel. So,
Right.
what made you get into music, and when did you think that you were going to be a singer?
So, I was 5 years old, and my grandfather worked in the MGM,
Okay.
and he was a pit boss, and then he was, and so we were just around where he was, and all of a sudden I was 5, and I just stood up and started singing "I Am Woman," and they were like, "Oh my gosh!" They're like, "She's gonna go somewhere," and after that, I started just singing for. We used to take products, and we would make up commercials for each product. And out of nowhere, I would be like, "Oh, I could sell this product for only $19.99, and it helps you, and it cleans your hair, and blah blah blah." And then I started doing dances and making up dances for the kids in the neighborhood. Me and my best friend. And then, so it started also with my mom. She was a singer too. So she was a singer. She was a hat check girl, how she met my dad.
Wow.
Yeah, in New York. And she would sing. And then when I was little, she would sing Barbra Streisand. And that's how I grew up. Barbra Streisand and Brenda Lee, that's my singing. And I would sing with her. And then I didn't know she was in competition with me because she was a little jealous. So I would sing, and then she would sing higher, and then I was like, "Oh, this is a game." So I would sing higher, and she'd sing higher, and I'm like, "Okay." So I just started singing all the time. And then the people would come over, like Al Smith and all these other people and all the band people, and I would just sing for everybody. And I would get attention from my family,
Right.
and they would not argue or nothing. There would no fight. Nothing.
There's joy.
It was positive. It was a good thing when I was singing, entertaining. So to me, it was my way of everybody just for like a few minutes or a few hours. It was my way of taking them away from their lives, taking them away from where they were. So to me, music is like you can go anywhere and have your lives, but for that little moment, you're happy, you're enjoying life, and you're being wherever you want. And that's when I sing, that's how I feel.
That's how you feel. It's your gateway of freedom. It's you. It's your inner spirit. So when you just played just recently,
Yeah.
and that band is not your band. That is just a makeshift band. So you're looking for players still.
So it was my band, but my guitar player had to move to San Diego, and my bass player had to move. Yes, but now I'm looking for other people. Yes.
Take your time.
Yes.
Because it's always there. It's always there. So
Yes. But it's amazing.
it's
Music is
totally
beautiful.
amazing.
Yeah.
So what is the direction? I know you're playing music.
Yes.
You have a lot of writing.
Yes.
What do you see in the future for you? I see great things for you.
Yes.
What do you see? What is the next direction? What you're flowing with your
Yes.
book?
Yes.
And what is the title of your book?
Little Girl Lost, a real story of PTSD. And I have it on Amazon, Kindle, all over.
Do you have a website?
Yes, it's www.angelsmysticreadingsandmore.com.
Tell me about your book signing. How was that?
It was wonderful. We had it at Half Price Books, and it's gone now, so it was in Concord.
Half Price Books left Concord?
Yes, it did.
Wow, that's pretty wild.
I know.
You know, because that's a nice
That was like an
bookstore.
historic place.
And so they're not there no more. That's not
No.
there. So how do you communicate with your friends? It's basically on the internet, and you have Instagram and all
And
of
they
that.
can call me or whatever, yes. And I see myself as making a difference, helping people, playing music, and just enjoying life, living life, and not letting anything stop me, because that's what life's about. Life is about, no matter what you've been through, no matter what you go through, it's about never stopping your dreams, because nothing can stop you unless you stop yourself.
Yes. And you know what? That's what you just said there is it's such an amazing thing to have, because music is a universal.
Yes.
You are a person that has a lot of inspiration. You have a story in your life.
Yes.
What you just told here today on this show is pretty amazing. You
Thank
opened up, and you really have a lot to give to other people, because you're an example of what can be done from when you were talking from the dark. Now you're in the light, and you're in the forefront.
Yes, and I'm working on my second book.
You're
I'm
working
almost
on
done
your
with that.
second book?
Yes.
Could I get her? Could I get the book right behind you so I
Yeah.
can show it to the?
Yes, yes. You know what? We all have stories, though.
Of
That's why
course.
we all should use our voice and help each other.
So I love the color. This is called Little Girl Lost, right?
Little Girl Lost: A Real Story of PTSD.
Can you get that? Oh, that's a better shot right there. Well, I mean, it's absolutely amazing. Who did your artwork?
So this young girl named Michelle. Yes, and she's amazing.
You're amazing. That's the most important thing, is that you're amazing.
I'm very blessed and thankful and humble that you brought me on your show.
Angel, you know,
Thank you.
there's two people that you could give a lot of credit to, and that's Lynn Kilcourse and then Yvonne Fabrice. They were the ones that kind of like
Amazing.
started talking about you. And we started, and I said, you know, I seen her at a club when we did the Leonard Hayes a musical benefit, and I'm just glad that they mentioned you. And then all of a sudden, Diane DiMaggio popped up, and you're well loved. You are definitely loved, and I think that your life is going to get better each day. I know it is. I mean, that's why you're here. I mean, thank you for gracing our stage.
No, thank you.
I mean, gracing the show and things like that.
Thank you
So
for
what we
having me.
normally do while we're ending,
Okay.
this is the thing we've been doing since day one.
Okay.
We like to look into the camera right here, and I'd like to thank everybody that has made our show worldwide. We are worldwide.
That's awesome.
We have our own YouTube channel. We have a lot of people that are helping us. You know, we have Morgan, and we have, of course, the Time Lord himself, Sue Joyce Sakar.
Okay.
So what we do, we actually give a big kiss out. So if you could get everybody a big kiss, that would be great. Here we go.
Mwah.
Peace and love to you. God bless you. Thank you so
Blessed
much,
be.
Angel.
Thank you.
Peace.